Morning. What's this?
Can't see it.
Normally it's always over there.
Arne, first of all, congratulations again. What's the celebrations been like? What messages of congratulations have you had, and how much you're looking forward to lifting the trophy and the parade to come as well?
That's a lot of questions in one. Of course, a lot of messages, and they are 9 out of 10 times they're the same. But it comes from a good heart, and it's always nice to get these messages. I've tried to answer all of them, not by sending big messages back, but try to answer all of them. It's been amazing, especially Sunday. It was maybe for all the Liverpool fans, but for many of them, one of the best days of their lives, and I think it was the same for me. The way the whole day went, arriving at the stadium, how intense the fans already were, then during the game going 1-0 behind, so it even felt like, oh, they're not going to give it to us, we have to work for it. Scoring the goals, seeing how much it meant to the players, but also to the fans was, and for me, was really special to be part of.
Who was the most famous person you got a message of congratulations?
I assume that's Jürgen.
Yeah. What did he have to say?
What did he have to say? What most of them said, congratulations. And now you know how special of a club it is. Now you are part of the history as well. These kind of things, and he was really happy for me, for the players, for the staff, for the fans. Like we all know Jürgen. So maybe I forget a few, but I think he was the most famous one. Yeah.
What opportunity do you see now in the remaining games, and how do you refocus after that big celebration last weekend?
It's always it's nice that we play some very strong teams with Chelsea, Arsenal, Brighton, and Palace. So that gives immediately the challenge to those games. It's the end of the season, but we'll also have to look at this as the start of next season already. So, it's Chelsea away first. We played them earlier on in the season, and I'm completely surprised, not shocked, but surprised if I look at the gap we have with them at the moment, because at that moment of time, they were the better team on the pitch. But we found a way to win, and that is a quality that we didn't need a lot, because mostly we were the better team on the pitch. But in that game, we had to suffer more than any other game, maybe. So to be so many points ahead of them is a big compliment for everyone here at this club.
As you mentioned, just looking ahead to next season as well, can we just take a check on Trent and when you hope for that situation to be resolved?
4 weeks to go. If there's any news on that, I wouldn't say you were the first one to know, but the people in front of me would probably hear it all together. And as long as there are no news from us, this is not the place to talk about this situation.
Hi again. Just in terms of Chelsea, obviously they played last night in Europe. Did you watch that game? What did you take from it?
Parts of it. I saw them taking a lot of players off at halftime. So talking about quality, semi-final in Europe, taking so many players off and just bring a bunch of new players in with the same quality. So, but that's the Premier League. We all have that. All teams have so much quality. We can all do this. That's also the nice. That's why this league is so popular. So very good team. They mostly showed this for me against us. To play so good in our stadium tells you how much quality they have.
And just for me as well, you're on 82 points at the moment. You could get to 96, which would have been enough to have won the title over the last 4 years previously as well. How important is it to try and get the maximum that you can between now and the end of the season?
It's we are going into these 4 games trying to win them all. Of course, that's how we've what we always want. That's what every player that wears the Liverpool shirt should aim for: winning a game of football. I would judge us more on the amount of points we have now compared to teams that won it in the past 4 games before the end, because there's definitely a difference if we're still competing than the games we play now, because my lineups will be different towards the one we've had mostly during the last 10 months as well. We're not going to change everyone, but there will be a few players that come into the team. There will be a certain rotation in the upcoming games. That's not to say that we're going to lose them. We have a lot of trust in the players we are going to play now as well. But I think it would be more honest to judges on the points total we have now compared to the ones that have won the league in the past, where they still had to fight till the end. And I think, if I'm correct, that we are on the same amount of points as many other teams that won the league recently, 4 games before the end.
So it's just, sorry, one more if I may. So is that the thinking for you now, is in terms of having a look at the squad players, as you alluded to think perhaps more for next season?
This season as well, because I think some of them deserve to play already earlier this season, because they've trained so well. They are good enough to play for this club. But I mainly chose the same players. And I think this is also a moment to see where they are. Also looking towards next season, maybe a bit already. But definitely also because they deserve to play this season.
Thank you.
We've been speaking to lots of fans this week who seem to really, really love the way you celebrated, both on the pitch and afterwards as well at Anfield on Sunday. I just wondered, do you feel like your connection with the Liverpool supporters went up a notch after the celebrations unfolded?
If that was still possible, because I from the first day I'm here, I feel that they support me and the team, but definitely me as well. I think if you win something together, it's for the same with me, with the staff, with the team, with the fans, the players, with each other. It always goes up a notch. That's where you said it. When you win something together, it's a game of football, but even more if you win a trophy together. That always lifts you to a new dimension.
Yeah. And Harvey Elliott said this week that he wants to stay and fight for his place. He's not perhaps had as many minutes as he'd have liked this season. Is he someone that you feel has got a big future at Liverpool?
I think first of all, it's very important that players who are here with us like to stay. That's a big compliment to everyone working here. And Harvey is one of the players that haven't had as much playing time as he maybe deserved. But like some others, he's in competition with so many good players that many have chosen for other players. Also partly because he was injured for a long time, and I've been honest with him. The first part after he came back from his injury, he wasn't the same as he was before his injury. But the last few months, he's back to his old level again. But there was no need for me to start with different players. But I think if you look at the amount of minutes he had in the last 1 or 2 months and the time before, you can see it goes up already. So that tells you that I like him more now than I did when he came back from his injury the first month.
Thank you. Cool.
Just on that, there's players like Harvey, maybe Chiesa. Have they got something to prove to you in this last month, do you think?
I don't think they have anything to prove to me because I see them every single day on the training ground, and I've seen them playing for us in the past or this season. Now, Federico not in the past, but he has had a great career at other clubs as well. So I don't think these players have to prove the quality players they are. But I think they want to prove for themselves that they are that they are good enough to play for us, and I already know that they are, and probably they themselves know this as well. So, no, I don't think they have a point to prove, but I do think they would like to play. But as I said, it's not now that all the ones that have played all the games are not going to play anymore, and all the other ones are going to play now. I've did this once before, Plymouth away. And I got quite a lot of criticism by you, or didn't I? So I don't think, and that is probably then also not an honest chance. So we will mix it up, but it's not going to be 4 games with the same lineup as we had against Tottenham.
You mentioned earlier that you're already starting to think about next season, which this season you never did. You always think about the next game. So how much advantage does winning the league with 4 games to go give you in terms of looking forward to next season, in terms of planning and everything?
There are so many things that have influence on next season. Is it an advantage, yes or no, that some teams could go to the Club World Cup? Is it? I think the main advantage of winning the league is that till now, if I spoke to players, new players that we wanted to bring in, I always told them that our fans are really special, that it's special to play at this club. I think that was maybe not even necessary to tell them in the past, but after Sunday, I don't think I ever have to tell anyone again how special our fans are, because that was unbelievable. Not only because of how much emotions there were, but them not coming onto the pitch. The amount of times I see teams winning the league and there's a pitch invasion after 2 minutes, everyone is like, yeah, what are we doing here? Let's go inside. But they all stayed in the stands, the way you say it, and the celebrations were incredible. But not even after the game, also during the game. So winning the league, having these fans, I think this is a big attraction to every player we want to bring in, and that's definitely helpful. But if it's helpful that we won the league now already for next season, that is so hard to tell you.
Hi, Arne. Considering the progress English teams have made in Europe, what does that say about the strength of the Premier League? Considering Manchester United are 14th and Tottenham 16th, and they could be contesting the Europa League final.
Yeah, but I think the number 14 and 16 of the Premier League have so much more funds than the number 1 in Holland, for example. So it's not a complete surprise that teams, and we have many of them in the Premier League, have so many more funds than everywhere around the world. Every other place around the world, except for Paris Saint-Germain, except for Barcelona, Real Madrid, and a few others. That is not a surprise that English teams go all the way into Europe, especially in the Conference League and in the Europa League, because they are in a different league when it comes to money compared to the other teams that play there. In the Champions League, it's more balanced, I think. So it's a big achievement from Arsenal that they are still in the semi-final. So yeah, it tells you how much money there is in this league and how strong this league is. But we all knew this, that we didn't need this season to know that the Premier League is probably by far the best league and the most competitive league in the world. There are not many leagues where the number 15, 16, 17 now. Because of a coincidence, it's done. United and Tottenham, they normally are not there. But even the teams that are normally there have players that can play for the number 1 and the number 2 and the number 3 as well. And you don't see this in any other league, I think.
No. Hi, Arne. You mentioned that Chelsea were the better team in the first game, and they had some real joy tactically, probably giving you more tactical problems than anyone else this season. Do you enjoy these kind of tactical battles, and do you expect a similar examination on Sunday?
Yes, because Chelsea plays the same style as they played at Anfield, and they've played the same style always. Is always 3-2, 4-1, or the way you want to call it. They always bring one of their defenders into the midfield, and they did this in our game as well. That wasn't a surprise because we've seen them playing. I think it was somewhere around the 11th game, or when did we play them? Yeah. So we knew that they did this, but we didn't defend that well enough, or they were just outstanding. That's also a possibility. I do feel that was one of their better games during the season. But yeah, apart from tactics, they have so many good players in their squad that is the biggest thing you have to fight against, not the tactics. It's always the players you have to play against.
Speaking of the players, Alexis Mac Allister has been nominated for Premier League Player of the Month. I think he's probably been a little bit underrated over the course of the season. He's not someone who's been spoken about as much as some of the other players. How important do you think he is to the success you've been able to get this season?
Yeah, I don't think he's underrated by me, because he played maybe every game or close to every game. Maybe the few times he didn't play, that was because he either needed rest or he got a knock, so he couldn't play. Very important player, game intelligence, so comfortable on the ball. But what makes him even more special to me is normally players that have so much game insight and are so comfortable on the ball are not as aggressive and intense without the ball. And he is one of the few players in the world that combine this. So great game intelligence, great on the ball, but a tenacity, that's the word you use here. Without the ball, that is... in our midfield, he stands out in terms of tenacity.
Michael?
Can I just ask, is there any update on Conor Bradley? Is he going to be available for the weekend?
He will train with us today, so that's the first start, and let's see how he does. So we expect him to be available. I don't know if that means that he's available to start, but if all goes well today and tomorrow, he will probably be in the squad. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.